Welcome into Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. As promised, we have the XFL Rookie Draft Results. The league did not televise it or stream it. They just put out the picks in no order, alphabetical order, in a press release. So we'll break them all down team by team. If you guys want even more XFL videos, our bosses said you have to share this one or else we're not going to be allowed to do any more. I know it's the off-season, but we need your help. Share this video. Also worth sharing because, again, the XFL didn't do a great job with this rookie draft. So help us out, help the league out by sharing today's video. Let's go team by team here, beginning with the Arlington Renegades, the defending champions here. A lot of names, I will be honest, I don't recognize. Barnett is a wide receiver out of Davenport. Connor Degenhardt is one of two quarterbacks drafted. That was it in the 10 round draft. He's from New Haven. Finau went to Maryland. Jalen Green from Mississippi State. Charles Hall IV went to Arizona State. Producer Jack's excited about that one. He's also the nephew of Troy Vincent, by the way. Did not do that much for ASU this year. Had 9 catches. So, again, this is the level of talent you're having here. His teammate, Merlin Robertson, elite name, the linebacker, gets a shot in the XFL. Couple offensive linemen, James Jackson, Jordan Rhodes out of South Alabama and Arkansas State. Chris Whitaker out of Incarnate Word. Teaser, not the last Incarnate Word player you'll see on today's show. And then Jordan Wright, a fairly impactful Kentucky linebacker who had a bunch of starts over his career at Kentucky, 168 total tackles, 25 TFLs. He was a super senior. He spent 6 years at Kentucky. The Renegades somehow won the championship. They went 4-6 this past year. Made it to the playoffs and then won the whole damn thing because that's fun how it happens sometimes. It don't got to be good throughout the year. You have to be a little bit lucky. That was Arlington. They got the championship win over the DC Defenders. All right, will you guys watch the XFL this year? Y for yes, N for no. You can be honest with me. It's okay if it's a no. It's fine. But go ahead and vote in the comment section. Let's go to the DC Defenders here. CJ Johnson, the ECU wide receiver. Good size, not the fastest guy, but he's a solid football player. I really like that pick. That was probably one of my favorite ones of the group, or of the draft that happened. I went back and looked at my my draft notes. I did not do very many players. This is one of them. This is one of the only players I had a draftable grade on that was taken in the XFL draft. I had a 6th round grade on CJ Johnson. I think big slot is the route he's going to go there. There was some immaturity issues at ECU. Might have been a big reason why he fell. Ty Scott out of Missouri State, another receiver taken there along with Trey Shropshire, averaged like 20 yards per catch, so he's a burner. Jack Plum out of Iowa, the offensive lineman. If I told you there was an Iowa offensive lineman and you had a list of all the names, I think Jack Plum would have been the first name everyone would have picked. Alex Jensen as well. Matt Carrick out of Michigan State. It was a very heavy offensive line draft in this year's class. Caleb Oliver out of Western Kentucky also on this list. Momo Sanogo, a.k.a. Mohamed Sanogo, on my list of players to get to if I have time, which I did not get to in the end. Bentley Sanders, and then a punter, Paxton Brooks, to the delights of Tennessee Vols fan Matthew Peterson here at Chat Sports. If you just want to answer this with your favorite XFL team, that's fine. But who won the XFL draft this year? Go ahead and vote for me in the comment section. What team do you think crushed the XFL draft better than all the rest? So again, you can vote your favorite team, whatever it was, or wait if you need to and see, what the other draft picks were. But go ahead and vote for me in the comments. All right, the Houston Roughnecks are next up here. A couple defensive-heavy picks here. Austin, I think it's pronounced Ajike out of UNLV. Michael Ayers out of Ashland, Notre Dame defensive lineman Jason Edemiola, kind of more of a backup player. Quinton Barr out of Grand Valley State. And then defensive lineman Momar Fall out of Colorado State Pueblo. So really small school picks here by Houston. The UTSA offensive lineman, Maka. Elijah McGee from Minnesota State, Mankato. So again, small school players all the way down to one of the bigger names on the entire draft board this year. That is Lindsey Scott Jr. out of Incarnate Word. Began his career at LSU, transferred to JUCO, went to Missouri, transferred to small school again, eventually transferred up to Incarnate Word in their ridiculous high-powered passing attack. He threw 60 touchdowns last year for UIW. That was a massive impact there. Undersized, not the best skill set, but I think he could be a really good player in the XFL. This league could fit his mold, his play style really, really well. Now, if you guys want to bet on football, whether it's the XFL, NFL, college football, or U.S. Open right now, you want to bet on the NBA draft, do it with BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125 gets you a 125% deposit bonus. $100 down minimum gets you that deposit bonus. They've got odds out for the number 2 overall pick. Victor Wembanyama's minus 20,000. I'm going to put down all my money on him and just get like 5 cents back. It's great. Scoot Anderson's even money. Brandon Miller's minus 140. Not much juice there because any of the players plus 5,000. If you feel good about Henderson or Miller going number 2, put some money on him. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. All right, let's go down to the Orlando Guardians. Jeremy Cooper, a multi-year starter for Cincinnati up front on the offensive line. Kosai Eldridge out of Texas Tech gets selected. Terry Hampton from Arkansas. Katie Hill from Mississippi. So notice the trend? Trench play. That's all the Orlando Guardians focused on. Jarrett Horst. Darius Jordan actually had a pretty good year for Duke. Had a couple INTs, PBUs, about 80-plus tackles. He was pretty damn good. Jaquez Jones out of Kentucky. Kerryon Kinsler Jr. from Alcorn State, by the way. And then elite name, LaQuinston Sharp, offensive lineman out of Mississippi State. So there was a clear trend for the Guardians this year. Trenches, trenches, trenches. The San Antonio Brahmas making one of the more aggressive picks, I'll call it. Jaleel Billingsley out of Texas, who I think there's one of 2 ways this goes for Billingsley, who has immense talent. He either plays really well and gets a shot in the NFL, or he's out of the league in 4 months, and maybe a year. There's immense talent, but he was in the doghouse in both Alabama at Texas. His coaching staff did not like the way he handled his business there. He has to mature, but that's an upside pick. Brendan Bordner out of FAU. Carlos Carrier out of Central Michigan. Darius Gaines, that's Western Colorado, by the way. R.J. Hubert from Utah. Lorenzo McCaskill from Kansas. Dylan O'Quinn, another Cincinnati lineman who makes the list. A couple of those players drafted. J.C. Santana from Tulsa. I like Chris Smith, by the way, too, out of Louisiana. Reasoning why. I play NCAA 14. I would do online dynasties with people, and I had one with Louisiana, and Chris Smith was pretty good for me. So that's my official scouting report. Then Dylan Thomas out of Missouri State as well. If you guys want more NFL, NBA, and college football content, all for free, make sure you're subscribed. Plus, maybe some more XFL. Hit that sub button for us right now. The Seattle Sea Dragons, remember they lost quarterback Ben DiNucci? They did not take one. Only 2 QBs drafted here. Sam Burt out of Kansas, the defensive lineman, along with also Kansas defensive lineman Malcolm Lee, by the way. Des Holmes out of Arizona State, and then another defensive lineman in Wes Moye. So you got a bunch of trench players here again. It's a very common theme. The 2 most drafted positions in the XFL 2023 rookie draft, D-line, O-line. Colby Reeder out of Iowa State. Destin Talbert from North Dakota State. Titus Swen, solid year for Wyoming, by the way. Chad Townsend out of Texas Tech. Another elite name alert, Jastin Turntine out of Florida State. And Peyton Wilgar out of BYU. The Sea Dragons had Ben DiNucci last year as their quarterback. He did go full gunslinger, made some mistakes, did lead the XFL in passing. Shot out with the Denver Broncos. He's the perfect XFL player. He'll make plays. Sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's fun, but he's entertaining. That's the guy you want in the XFL. So name a player who you guys want to see in the XFL. A few years ago, man, Johnny Manziel would have been perfect for this league. Maybe not so much now. So drop that player name for me in the comment section. Nico Bolden, a starting safety for my parents and my sister's alma mater, Kent State. He goes to the St. Louis Battlehawks along with fellow MAC rival James Bostic. Delaware's Johnny Buchanan gets selected. Another Incarnate Word player, Darian Chafin. Jacob Gall out of Baylor. He could start for St. Louis pretty early on. Kimore Gamble, the tight end from Central Florida. Matthew Jester out of Princeton. Kayvon Latlouis out of Missouri. I think I got that right. If not, I'm sorry. Jadarian Taylor and Anthony Witherstone out of Merrimack. I know some of those abbreviations not too familiar because, hey, it's small schools. And finally, the Vegas Vipers, currently without a head coach. Nick Amoa out of UC Davis. Desmond Besant out of Buffalo. Dwayne Boyles out of South Florida. Stacy Chukwumizie. I'm 99% sure I got that wrong, so I'm sorry, Stacy. He's from NAU, Northern Arizona. James Edwards from James Madison. Jamari Edwards out of James Madison. I got the player and the team name mixed up there. Lorenzo Fatui out of BYU. TJ Green, Robert Mitchell, Darius Nash, and Nasir Watkins. So a couple different Liberty players taken there by the Vegas Vipers. My apologies for my voice sounding terrible. I do not feel well, but we got to do the videos anyway. Got to power through. Be honest with me. How many players had you heard of that were drafted today? The answer's probably low, and that's okay. Maybe you got a couple. Maybe you're a Baylor fan. You know the offensive lineman. Drop that number for me in the comment section.